Hello, folks. Thanks for stopping by Lenderman Shop today. I wanted to share with you just a short video about our Rheem Marathon hot water heater that was installed in October of 2016. This water heater works well. However, every time we use it, it leaks a little bit. And if we're running the hot water, if we're doing maybe laundry and a couple showers, when I come down here, there is quite a bit of water on the floor. But when we're not using it, it works. It doesn't leak at all. So let's take a little bit closer look, and I'll go over with you what we think is happening with the hot water heater.
Okay. Now, as I said, when we use it, it leaks, and you can see that it accumulates down here. It drips all the way down. What we think is happening, and I know fully well that I don't want to get too close to the wires there. The water is leaking from behind of that silver plate. I had a plumbing company come in just the other day because I needed to get some professional eyes on this since it's been doing this for a while. And he ascertained, and we ran the water for quite some time, that it was coming from behind that silver plate. And he said that's a part that they do not install, meaning if they put in a new element, they just pull out the element and put in the new element. They would not fool around with anything else there. So he went to bat for me, or the company went to bat for me, and spoke to Rheem, and they agreed to replace the entire hot water heater. Now, we have to pay a fairly decent price to have it installed, but at least this hot water heater, which is about $1,500 at Home Depot, we'll get that replaced for free. You can see today when we were running it, the water came all the way out way over to there while we were running. And it also, if you look all the way up here, you can see it would also very frequently come out this top one as well. Usually it would just be the bottom one if we weren't running the water that much.
Now, because it only leaked when we were using it, I wasn't too concerned about getting it replaced right away because I thought that I had 10 years on this tank. And it turns out with these, I don't think they give 10 years at all anymore. But when I purchased this tank, it was 10 years on the tank itself, and then maybe, I think it may have been 4 years on the part. So when I called the company myself, the gentleman said they're not going to cover anything because it wasn't the tank, it was the parts. He was telling me that it was the elements on the top and the bottom that needed to be replaced, and that was my responsibility at this point since that part of the warranty has run out. Again, before I did anything, I wanted to get a professional opinion on this. So I called the company, or I called a plumbing company that's associated with Rheem and has contracting with Rheem. He came out and ascertained that the leak was coming from behind that plate and wasn't necessarily the heating element itself. Therefore, when he spoke to the company explaining that that was actually part of the tank that was leaking. So that worked out really well for me. Again, this tank is about $1,500, depending on where you are at Home Depot today, it's about $1,500 for this 50-gallon Rheem tank. We can only get the tall one because the shorter, wider one will not fit down our steps here. So this is quite literally the only size tank we can put down here. Tomorrow we get our new hot water heater. And again, I had to weigh the the cost and so forth. If the company did not provide the hot water heater for us, and I had to buy a brand new one and I had to do everything all over again, I would have second thoughts about doing that because, again, the water heater is working fine, and except for when we're actually using it, it leaks. But I will say the leak is not getting any better, and that was a concern of mine. That how much more was it going to leak? I mean, at some point, something's got to go really bad. So I'm very happy that Rheem agreed to provide the hot water heater, and we need to get it installed. Yes, it's a bit of money that I was not expecting to pay, especially with this water heater that has such high recommendation. That's supposed to last for a really long time, and here I am replacing it only 8 years after we put it in. 9 years after we put it in, close to 9 years after we put it in. So if you happen to have a Rheem hot water heater Marathon like this one, and you have a similar issue, it might be worth checking into And I would say don't wait as long as I did. Once you see a leak starting to materialize and you have an idea it's when you're running hot water, then call the company or get somebody out to look at it who's associated with Rheem, and they can help you out. It's worth the, it cost me $30 to have somebody come out here and look at it, but now I'm going to get a brand new water tank. They charge me for the install, but it will be a brand new water tank. So that would be worth it if you're having some issues. Again, I thought I had longer, so this has been leaking for a few years. That was my fault. Procrastination, as I often do. Okay, so that's it from Lenderman's Shop today. I just wanted to share that with you in case you're having any of those same issues with this exact same tank. It's a great water tank, but obviously there is a flaw in here. And if you happen to catch that flaw early enough, you might be able to get it completely changed out free of charge, maybe. So, okay, thanks again for watching Lenderman's Shop. Until the next video, thanks for tuning in.
Yo, 'cause